That's exactly something a culprit would say, Cheryl. Now we're getting, this is getting suspicious, to be honest. This is getting a little sus.
Hey, just
Something
because
cool
a
kids
lot of
say.
things that I've used have burst into flame doesn't mean I did it intentionally.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
This is getting, are we recording this? This is getting
Yes,
worse.
We're
Every time
recording the
Cheryl says
pre-show.
something.
we're recording.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right,
we're
It's on
recording the
recording the
pre-show.
pre-show.
On your recommendation, Michael, we're recording. Yeah.
We've
Thank
been
you.
recording for
Oh,
about
Thank you.
15 minutes.
Michael,
Yeah.
it depends on whether this is too sensitive, but I could tell the story about me setting my cousin's face on fire.
Oh, that's
Yes,
true. Let's
Oh,
go
please,
for it.
please.
that's sensitive to
I
us, to
have, some
him.
some of you have heard it already, but it's worth repeating.
Yes,
Yeah, please,
It's
Jim.
worth it. So,
your humble
welcome.
beginnings. Any
Welcome to the
accidents happen.
Madhouse, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Those of you who have joined us in progress on Facebook, those of you who have joined us in house. It's a Madhouse, but we're also pleased and excited to have our very, very special guest this time. It is Kevin Peel. You may remember me from my television shows in the 1980s and 90s, and now I host two regularly live-streamed virtual magic shows. One is a showcase for some of the greatest magicians in the world, and the other is a talk show featuring some of the most inspiring conjurers of our times. Welcome now to Magical People. Everybody to this edition of Magical People Live featuring myself, Dr. Michael, and my co-host. Where is she? There she is. Whoops. Cheryl. Yay. And our very, very special guest, Mr. Kevin Peel. We'll be featuring Kevin. Hi, Kev. We'll be featuring Kevin most of this show. And you know what I've decided? I think what we will do, yes, let's have a hand for Kevin, just for agreeing to come on this show. You're appreciated. So I think we're going to open with an effect that may or may not work. I know I always say that. We'll employ you in this one as well, Kevin. But I'm going to ask my partner in magic, that's Cheryl, to blindfold herself. And because quite frankly, not only does she not want to see what we're about to present, but I think our whole audience does not really want to see what we're about to present. I'm kidding. And so we'll just make sure that Cheryl cannot see. There we go. That looks very interesting.
Scarf.
And it looks very winter-like as well. It is.
Yes, we're expecting a storm.
Ah, perfect. So what we're going to do, and this started off as ridiculously complex, to be honest, Kevin, was I've got probably 30 both playing card size and jumbo card size cards with various symbols, 4 symbols, all different colors, and then there's like 20 of them. And I decided, no, let's just simplify this. So what I've gone and done against my better judgment is to make up a little booklet, if you will, of most of these symbols, not all of them, but they are interesting. They're not strictly ESP symbols, but they are at least different colors and different shapes. And what I'm going to ask you, Kevin, to do in a moment, and rather than have Cheryl write a prediction, I'm going to ask you to say stop it's never an opportune time. So we'll say, I'll ask you to stop, Kevin, at an inopportune time. And once you do, you'll glimpse it. Cheryl cannot see it. She'll remove her blindfold or her sweater, and or it may be a very long sock. I'm not sure. But and hopefully she can perceive what the symbol is. So once again, and hopefully you can see, I'm going
Okay, stop. Oh,
to, here we go.
stop.
Right there and
That'll do. Yeah.
only there. And I'm not sure you can tell the color.
I can see all sorts of colors coming through because of your green screen.
Yes,
I
exactly.
can see the shape, but I'm not sure what color it is.
All right. Well, you'll have to trust me on this.
I can make an assumption based on the fact that what's happening, but
I guess you can say this is an effect that you can really see through. But,
yeah.
okay, I'm going to ask Cheryl now. I placed the booklet away. I'm going to ask Cheryl now that she unmask or unblindfold herself. I feel so bad that we get her into situations like this. Are you all right?
I'm all good.
Okay, good. When the breathing stops, then we'll take notes.
Right.
You have a pad and marker there?
I
Sure.
do.
All right. Since it was a bit difficult, Kevin could perceive the shape. I know what the color is. We're both going to focus. One of us on the color, one of us on the shape. And hopefully you'll be able to perceive something or other between the three of us. And this is actually our first time attempting this in this form. And I tell you, folks, our studio audience and our Facebook audience as well, if Cheryl can pick up on this image, then I'll be very, very impressed. So, Cheryl, if you will, ready, I have a feeling she's going to run into the same chroma key problem, with the shape will be visible, but not necessarily the color. So I'm going to, I'm going to have you hold up your pad, and it appears to be, a green star, not the lone star, but the green star. And she did get the color right. I can confirm that because I see it right here. And Kevin, was that
It was indeed a star. Yeah.
excellent? Excellent. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for
you.
my partner in magic.
Yeah.
Kevin, thank you so much for your patience. Oftentimes at this segment, we don't have the special guests participate. We usually have them participate at the end. But because you are special, I thought
That's what they told me in school.
let's get Kevin up to be doing this. But also at the same time, no, Tommy, I haven't forgotten about you. I did change the format a little bit. Let's bring in
I forgot.
let's bring in Tommy Burnett. Let's put our hands together for New York's finest. I mean, New York's finest mentalist. And you have a special show coming up. Yay. I'll let you do it, but we'll say it's around February 14th or 15th, around.
Yeah, it's on the KFC. There we go. It's on the 15th of February. It's called Hugs and Kisses XOXO, a very romantic comedy mentalism show. And it's in Midtown Manhattan. Tickets are $20 at in advance, $25 at the door. One of these days, I'll get that right. And you can go to ticketsource.us/Tommy Burnett Productions, or click on the QR code right here, and it will take you directly to the website and my event.
Excellent. It's a, I know, it's a must-see show. If some of you out there have not seen Tommy on the Open Mic Magic Theater or my show, you must catch him. And maybe I can persuade you, Tommy, to do a walk-on closer to the date. You may be too busy, but nonetheless, I'll ask that you show a little bit of your mentalism skills and talents off. If you're in the New York City area, please check out Tommy. That makes me want to go almost home and see your show in New York City. So thank you. We'll keep plugging that for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Thanks, Tommy. So, yes, now we're out of time, Kevin. I'm really sorry.
Well, I
Hi,
think,
everyone.
well, can I ask a question about Tommy's show? Was
Yeah.
up in the top right-hand side of the poster was the cross thing with the hearts,
Yes.
and I want to know why it's called tic-tac-toe over that side of the pond. Was we call it just noughts and crosses? Yeah.
Crosses, I know. I don't know the origin of that name. 'Cause I call it what you call it, noughts and crosses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to do some research, or maybe Ian can do it for us.
Yeah, Ian's already looking it up.
Probably
The origins of
yeah, but you're right. Noughts and crosses makes a lot more sense than
Yes, tic-tac-toe.
yeah.
absolutely. And you
I
know,
think
Anyway,
I think he
just for your
overflowed
references, my dad used to call it
tic-tac-toe,
oxo.
yeah.
Ox-
Oh, okay. Huh.
And I don't know if that was particular to him or if it's global or what. OXO. We were actually discussing that last night, Sue and I, as we were watching the new Hollywood Squares, and yeah, OXO, EXO. It sounds like a hex that someone is
Yeah,
putting on somebody.
Huh.
But
do you have OXO cubes, beef cubes over there?
yes,
You
yes.
do. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yet another reference to that. So,
Yeah.
Kevin, one of the many reasons, and Tommy's gone, one of the many reasons, one of the many reasons I'm having you back on our show is because I'm so excited about the Wednesday night show. It's melded with the
indeed.
Tuesday night show. So let's chat a wee bit about that because that is a sure everyone really needs to go see it.
Right. Yeah. So historically, way back in the 1800s, Omar Illusion started a show streaming out of New York. I think it was on Saturday, wasn't it, Tommy, originally?
Yeah,
And then
I think, yeah.
And then
it was.
Tommy took it over and renamed it and moved it to Tuesdays, and it became Tuesday Night Magic Theatre. And then Tommy sort of semi-retired from hosting it, and myself and Robina took up hosting that. And then more or less at the same time, I'd started the Wednesday night Open Mic Magic show. I think the Tuesday night, the Saturday night thing predated Open Mic Magic, but when Open Mic Magic was running, then the Saturday show moved to I can't even remember what it was called on Saturday. It's very confusing. But and now after many years, so it's 120 odd years now since it started. I haven't aged. 120 years, amazing. We decided that because a lot of the magicians we had on both shows sort of were the same magicians. There were a few on the Tuesday that were different to those on Wednesday, and a few on the Wednesday different to those on the Tuesday. But it got quite difficult for everyone to think up new routines every week for two shows. So I sort of had a chat with Robina and also brought Tommy in because it was, his original concept. for the
Virtual
Tuesday night thing.
interactive magic theater. I
Ah, that was it. Virtual Interactive Magic Theatre. It was indeed, yeah. So when we sort of agreed to, so with me pushing a little bit, to sort of merge the two on the Wednesday, merge the names a bit. So Open Mic Magic has become Open Mic Magic Theatre to inherit the Tuesday Night Magic Theatre. So, and we changed the time to be more friendly towards the USA as well, but not to be too late for the UK. So hopefully we've got a nice mix, and I think it's worked. The last couple of weeks, it's worked very well.
Absolutely.
We're getting a good selection of people in and a good gallery as well. So
Brilliant.
onwards and upwards.
Yes, and we have all the aforementioned people to thank for that. And what sort of started around COVID time, and I still believe that this venue, if you will, this
Yeah.
medium, is not only the present but the future of magic as well. Everybody loves to see magic in person. We all always love to perform live in front of real people. But I also believe for those who cannot attend in person, we've got this venue, if you will.
Absolutely, yeah.
I look forward to every week, and I've looked forward to, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years that I've been included. Thank you, Kevin. I'm sure our audience is not thanking you, but I'm going to thank you, Kevin, for including me in your lineup. And also, it's like a magic club is the only way I can.
It is indeed, yeah.
There's a great deal of camaraderie and sharing after post show. I call it the post show chat, but I don't know if there's a proper term for it, where we share certain secrets and stuff. And it's a lovely place to watch, a lovely place to participate in. And I'm not just saying that because Kevin is paying me handsomely. No, I'm not just saying that. I think most of you out there know me by now. I really mean it. I really love it. And I'm so grateful to still be included as part of that show. Part of it as well, we've got something that everyone looks forward to. They look forward to seeing you, Kevin, Tommy, when Tommy's not rehearsing for his live show. Actually, it's coming up in just a few weeks. And Robina, who I call Robina the Enchantress. It's Robin Byers. And I think we all look forward to familiarity. And within that familiarity, within the familiarity of the characters, if you will, our new, I'm going to call them effects. I'm going to avoid the T word. I'm going to call them effects. I look forward to watching everyone else as a participant to see what everyone is going to come up with. So I'm very grateful for that. And I predict, Kevin and whoever else is involved in the show, many, many more years of that show. So if you get...
Well, there were naysayers at the sort of the cusp of 22, 23 who were saying, "Oh, Zoom is over. That's it. You know, it was there for lockdown. It's all over. It's never going to keep going." But it's going from strength to strength. So,
absolutely,
sucks to you, whoever said it's dead.
Hear, 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 hear. It's absolutely true. There's always enough room for everything, and
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, yes, say people are not familiar with the show. Maybe there's one or two that have been hiding in a cave or under a rock. How can yeah, really? How can, maybe we don't want them to come to the show. How can they access it?
Right. Well, right. Readjusting my teeth. On Facebook, if you search for Open Mic Magic Theatre or Tuesday night, Open Mic Magic Theatre or Tuesday Night Magic Theatre, because I've left that group up and running so that people can find everything and migrate over seamlessly and gracefully. So either of those search terms will come up. And if you're a performer, you won't find the performers group unless you know to search for Open Mic Magic Theatre performers, and then it's a secret group and you have to apply to join.
Yes, absolutely. I have to admit, I was nervous, Kevin, when I first approached you to be on your show, because I liked it so much. I had been watching it on and off, and I thought, oh, is Kevin going to agree to have me on? What if he doesn't? Okay, well, I'll just throw up my
Well,
arms and
well,
walk
we
away.
did take a vote, Michael. We did take a vote, and I think there was 30 people involved in the vote, and there was just 16 to 15. So you just snuck in.
Wow.
What was the
No, no,
deciding vote?
it was unanimous. It was unanimous. No, we never took a vote. Obviously, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. I never take anything for granted, so
Yeah.
obviously I'm grateful for that. I am thankful, and I want to talk about this. We spoke a little bit off camera about this. What we're calling the New Look Magic News Network. Now,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
some years ago, I started the Canadian Magic News. I think it was just the Canadian Magic News, and I was very excited about it. And because we often don't read or hear about what's really going on in my own country of Canada. And so I thought, well, let me do this. And I did it for about a year. And then it morphed into the Magic News Network, which was more global. And
Yeah.
now it's morphed into the New Look Magic News Network. Let's chat a little bit about that because I'm excited about it.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So you sort of let that the Magic News Network thingy was there, and then it sort of you stopped doing it was you moved to a voice podcast,
Yes.
and it was never quite the same. Then it was, you know, the voice version of, in my humble opinion, didn't work very well, and I much preferred the older show, the way it was with with video and with you presenting it and bits and bobs and stuff. So that's why I was really keen to encourage you to bring it back,
And I'm
and
so glad.
you were kind enough to let me be involved in it as well. So
Cheers.
we will make it truly global, hopefully. We've got Canada, we've got people in the US, obviously, we've got me in the UK, we've got Joe in Australia, who you can mention because he's going to be on your show, I believe, in a week or three.
He is. He's a really nice guy too. He had me on his, I think it's the No Name Trivia.
No Name Trivia show, yeah.
And yes, that'll be exciting to have him be a part of the New Look Magic News Network as well.
Yeah.
Being in news, magic news from all over the world. So I can't wait to get on that. And I'm sure we will. And I'm so thankful that you've asked me, Kevin, and Rabina's involved as well, probably for part of the US news. I'm going to bother Cheryl. Maybe somehow she'll do some research and get a little bit involved in it as well. She's after all, my partner in magic. So
and we can have the farm news.
The animals, the magicians.
Yeah. No, seriously though, yeah, it'll be great to hear from both all over the place. And anybody apart from us who has content that they want to share with the magic community, get in touch, join the group, send a private message to any of us, and I believe currently anyone can post on the group, but it is moderated, so your post won't necessarily be put up there unless we generally approve of it.
Yes, and that prevents weird posts like, oh, I don't know, strange rock groups perhaps doing
Yes.
doing weird things. I just want to share.
And political memes, which
Exactly.
will be deleted immediately.
We avoid that. We avoid that. Here's sort of a graphic that I came up with. No music yet, but we'll come up with.
Yeah.
Yay. Yay.
Nice.
So it has an exciting feel to it right away. You really re-inspired me to do that, Kev. I will give you the utmost credit for that, because there was this thing sitting, being unused, being unshared, and you rang me up one day and said, "Would you want to start that up and all of this?" And I thought, yes, I didn't have any doubts whatsoever, but you may have some doubts
Yeah.
of me, but anyway.
And a bit of the change is how the editorial comment is done. It's more collective rather than having a script that just you read a script,
Yes,
which you didn't have all the editorial content yourself. But so it's going to be a much more collaborative.
absolutely, absolutely. It felt so mechanical. No
Yeah.
offense to anybody in the past. To read my, I forget what it's called, to see these words and I'm just blankly reading them, being scrolled down, and it's like, and anyway, yeah. My eyes have gone bad just thinking about all that. So yes, lots of fun. Exactly. And that's me on a good day. That's me on a good day. I want to share with people, as opposed to animals, the I don't know why I say these things. One of my
Sharing is
favorite
caring.
Exactly. One of my favorite segments of you and Cheryl and Michaela on probably the Tuesday Night Magic or Wednesday.
Okay, so tonight I'm going to do something to do with it with sort of emotions, etc. So let's get our friends who are tonight Cheryl and Michaela, and on other nights the Real Brat Pack. And I've got some tarot cards here, which we will use. I'm just going to keep those in view while we do the next bit, because they don't think that you'll realize why you might think I've sort of changed them for something else. Okay, so if we have a look at this, it's a wish list. Okay, so, and I'm going to write down what you choose, Cheryl, and what you choose, Michaela. Don't choose the same wish. So, Cheryl, have a look through all those and see something that really tugs at your emotions or tugs, means something to you.
Love my family.
Oh, brilliant, lovely. Hang on, I'm trying to open this Sharpie, and the end doesn't want to come off. So, Cheryl, you're going to have love my family. And Michaela?
Prospect of wealth.
Woohoo! Where's that one? There we go. Prospect of wealth. Okay. Okay, so go back to here. So, Cheryl and Michaela, as I said, I've got some tarot cards, and they are beautiful ones. I do really like these. Some that both myself and Tommy love these particular ones from Artisan Tarot. And I did notice somewhere was there we go, the Fool. I always get rid of the Fool if he's around, because although the Fool in tarot doesn't actually need a Fool, for me he does. He does all sorts of weird and wicked things. And my favorite one is actually there, which is the Magician. Okay, so we got rid of the Fool, yeah. And okay, so now we're going to use the two words, the two phrases. So Cheryl's, shall we go for you first? Which is love my family. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spell the three words that you've got there. You've both chosen three words, but you didn't have to choose three words. If we have I'll just hold these up again. If we have a look at that, there were lots of different length phrases. Some were two longer words, some were different types of words, etc. So, yeah. Okay, so love my family. Okay, so Love and God. And then Michaela, you chose Prospect of Wealth. Prospect. Now you see why I wrote them down.
Yeah.
OFWEALTH. And that's yours. So let's have a look. So, Cheryl, Love My Family. The World. Wow, that's fantastic actually, because it means fulfillment, sense of belonging, wholeness, harmony, which is really a family related thing, and it really gels with what you said, the actual phrase that you chose. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So that was your card, The World.
Awesome.
And Michaela chose Prospect of Wealth, which is the Chariot. And again, the Chariot bends to a tend of success and brings out an aggressive part of your personality, which an aggression obviously is part of human nature. And the Chariot, but the Chariot reminds you can also use it to take charge of yourself, take charge of your situation, and try and rein yourself in and not be too aggressive at all. But I think Prospect of Wealth and the Chariot come together really well. So I think those two cards were great choices for you. But what's even more interesting is that little block of glass has been there all along, and it is in fact a picture frame.
Oh my gosh.
Which pictures the two cards that I thought would be ideal for both of you.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, Michaela. Yeah, and I just need to mention that we didn't have an edit in that. That was actually a freeze, a Zoom freeze, while I was spelling the first. So it generally did get spelt out properly.
Absolutely. And I could have edited, I could have taken out that freeze part, but then it would look like it was edited.
Yeah, an edit, yeah.
Right. So it was exactly as it aired, exactly like that. There was no funny business. Don't forget we're dealing with non-magicians as well, probably watching. Where was the inkling, the early ideas for this effect? Where was it from?
I'll mention a name, which is Jim Steinmeier, and so magicians will be able to backtrack from that.
Yes.
But I added a couple of subtleties in there to make it not seem like what it was. We can mention that in the after show chat, because I had to do quite a lot of work to make it work in the format that it ended up in.
Excellent. I'll look forward to that in the after chat. I love some of Jim Steinmeier's, not only his bigger illusions, but there's one I occasionally do in my show. It's a rising card out of the box with a ribbon on either side. And his version of that, I combine that with my own version, which you've seen me do on your own show. So he's a wealth of stuff, but But of course, one has to, if they can.
His little Impossibilities series of books are just wonderful.
Yes, yes. It's important to tailor some of the effects to oneself as well, which you've succeeded in doing. And I love the Tarot de Marseille, which is the deck that you used, or the cards that you used. It harkens back to, they were originally black and white block prints, and eventually in the 1600s or so they were colored. Color was added to them, so they still maintain some kind of mystique that I enjoy.
And those ones are recreated by a company called Artisan Tarot, and they're beautiful recreations of them.
Yes. I'd like us to recap how and where people can find you, because obviously you're the UK mentalist, I said that for a reason. And people in the UK area, or maybe elsewhere, maybe via Zoom, people will want to book you. How can they?
theukmentalist.co.uk is the website, and Kevin Peel Magician and the UK Mentalist will find me on Facebook.
Excellent, excellent. Will you stick around and help Cheryl and I with one more experiment of the mind? It would
Oh,
be
definitely,
Was there
definitely.
a story? But was there a story that Kevin wanted to share
Oh,
first?
yeah, right, yeah.
Ah,
Little share. Right, so this was way back when I was very young. I was of early teens, and I was living in South Africa. And my cousin, who was my sort of one cousin who was really my closest friend as well. We just shared a lot of thoughts and etc. And ideas. And he loved magic too. And so we used to do magic for friends and family, but we decided to do this one sort of a magic show for his family and my family. And so we wanted to recreate a famous effect, which was a cage that used to have a little canary in it, and that vanished. And so we built the cage, and to make it vanish, I wanted to cover it with a tissue and light it, and it would vanish in a flash. And I mean, as people will know here, you can get. It's not give you away a magic secret. You can buy paper that does the flashes when you light it. But we didn't have access to any of that. So I decided, well, I'm going to actually make my own paper that does this. So took tissue paper and soaked it in acetone, which, as most ladies there will know, is very flammable. You don't get it near a cigarette or a match. Was it wet? But what I hadn't thought of is, of course, it's a liquid and will dry. And when it's dry, it doesn't work. So I soaked this tissue, draped it over so my younger cousin, so my other cousin was involved in the show, and his younger brother was holding the cage, and I put the tissue over it, went to light it, and nothing happened. And tried again. I had a light cigarette lighter, and the flame came up, and nothing happened. And I thought, well, actually, I had a little emergency way of getting around this. In my pocket, I had a little bottle of acetone. And I thought, well, if I just sort of lighted it again and pour the acetone over it, it'll work. But instead of pouring it, I splashed it towards it. It caught fire in midair and went all over his face, and his entire face burst into flames. But luckily, acetone burns very, very quickly. And it was a shock. It was very, my God. But then he was fine. And no singed hair or eyebrows.
Perhaps a great April Fool's stunt.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Kev, and Cheryl
Thank
for
you.
reminding us of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to bring out what appears to be something from Egyptology. I'll refer to it as Egyptology. Really, it's Egyptian mythology. It's the scarab. It's the ancient scarab. And in Egyptology, there's certain magical properties and attributions attributed to the scarab. I'm just missing the time. I'm imagining Kevin is writing these words down, and we'll get the word of the week. My word of the week. Nonetheless, we're going to use this today in an experiment where you see I've made a prediction, and that's all I'll say for now. So it's going to be an experiment in precognition. Cheryl is also going to get involved with this. I don't think you need a blindfold for this because it's purely verbal, but you will need your pad and pencil for this as well, because Cheryl is going to write a prediction on her pad, and she'll show it a little bit later. And we're going to hope, we're really going to hope that it matches what Kevin says. And I'm going to make it really tough on us. I'm going to ask Kevin to come up with a 3-digit number. I'm going to bring up my pad and pencil as well. It's rather anemic, but nonetheless, it will do the trick. And change your mind, please, Kevin, as often as you will until you finally settled on a 3-digit number. I believe Cheryl has already written hers. Have you written yours? Excellent. So Cheryl has written hers. My prediction is somewhere around the scarab area, which also sounds a bit like we need treatment for that, but that's something else, around the scarab area. And nonetheless, I'm going to ask you, Kevin, have you settled on 3 numbers, 3 digits?
I have indeed, yes.
And what would that be?
731.
7, 3, and 1. Is there any particular reason why you chose 7, 3?
No, random numbers out there.
Sometimes those are the best. I can assure you. We will leave this. It's not too visible, but it will be. I don't know if you can all see 7, 3
Yeah, just about.
written there. And we might as well reveal. I would ask that Cheryl shows at this time her prediction. And hopefully chroma key is
You
both
can
a
see it.
blessing and a curse as well.
Oh,
Yes,
oh wait,
there we
I
go.
can see that.
Get that?
Lovely, yeah.
And
That-
it is in
trust-
3 and 1.
That's it. Spot. Keep it there.
Okay.
And on the back of the little scarab pendant, if you will, is engraved 7, 3,
3, 1.
Woo!
Excellent.
Very
Excellent.
the very same digits. Wow. I want to thank you so much, Kevin, for being our guest this time and actually educating us a little bit as to how the whole open mic theater and the Zoom shows began, their origins, if you will. And I remind everybody as well to watch Open Mic Magic Theater every Wednesday. Check that out on Facebook. And
Could I just mention one other name, which I very remiss of me not to mention it, but Open Mic Magic was a collaboration between myself and my friend Stuart Harley, and he was involved right at the beginning, and he did a lot of the graphics and designed the pin that we sell and all sorts of things. So
it is lovely, and I remember a little bit back, I won't say way back, his name and then how he did help so much. Thank you so much for that, Kevin. And I want to thank all of you as well on behalf of myself, Dr. Michael, my partner in magic, Cheryl, and her daughter, Mick, has joined us. Hi, Mick.
Hello.
I hope you'll all join us every week. We're here every Saturday featuring someone of interest. It may be a magician, it may be a tarot card reader, it may be an author. We have so many exciting guests in store for you over the next couple of months, and we're gathering more as well. So hopefully we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much.